Hello, denizens of the internet. Welcome to a former network executive reaction. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through the Byzantine world of Hollywood that will make Christopher Nolan's Inception seem like a home movie. The impetus for this video came from many of your comments on my videos discussing Amazon's Lord of the Things and why Netflix's Cowboy Bebop failed from an executive in charge of production perspective. One of the key things I tried to impress on all of you was that no one really knows if something will be successful or a failure. And by successful, I mean make money, bring in viewers. It doesn't have to be good. Movies and TV shows can succeed or fail for reasons no one anticipated. Every broadcaster on the planet passed on Mad Men until it ended up on AMC. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was buried by the studio because they hated it and didn't know what to do with it. One day, it was released, and of course, the rest is history. Mel Brooks's movie, The Producers, one of my all-time favorite movies, was also shelved for, I believe, a year. It was only by several bizarre, insane coincidences that Peter Sellers saw it at a private screening and placed a full-page ad in Variety proclaiming it the single greatest comedy of all time, shaming the studio into finally fully releasing it. And once again, the rest is history. However, I think it is safe to say this magical resurrection will not happen with De Niro's The War with Grandpa. The common theme in most of your comments went along the lines of, Hollywood is ruining entertainment. Greedy execs are only interested in the money, not quality. SJWs have taken over Hollywood. Soulless corporate cash grab. Let me let you in on a secret. People have been saying this for decades, and yet movies and TV shows are made. Some great, many bad, and you still can't get enough of it. But you are both wrong and right about Hollywood, and I will attempt today to demystify why you get what you're getting. Because as much as you like complaining, there are many very talented people trying hard to make good stuff. Is it as good as The Godfather, The Day of the Jackal, Kramer versus Kramer, The Goodbye Girl, Taxi Driver, The Sting, Annie Hall, Midnight Express, Dog Day Afternoon, The China Syndrome, Animal House, Dirty Harry, Serpico, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Chinatown? Okay, no, but they're trying. You have to understand the Hollywood system unemotionally. And contrary to everything you might think as an outsider, there are more good people in Hollywood than bad. But it has its rules, and you choose to play by them or leave. Hollywood can crush your soul. It is a place of high expectations and contradictions. Lunches at the Bel Air that last way too goddamn long. Good people can become bad. Bad people can become good. Fame is the main currency. And this can be external fame as it relates to an actor, or internal fame as it relates to a behind-the-scenes producer. Mickey Rooney, who was at one point one of Hollywood's biggest stars, knew when his fame had been completely exhausted. When he was financially destitute, he would buy things with a check, hoping they wouldn't cash them because they wanted his autograph. The day that a store cashed his check, Mickey knew he was done. Sorry, I'm rambling. Here is where Hollywood's base of power comes from. No, not from the huge piles of cash they can throw at a project, though it is a significant and powerful weapon against interlopers. It, too, has its budget limits. Hollywood's immense influence comes from the fact that they are Time Lords. No, not the one from Doctor Who. There are only 24 hours in a day, And within that time, we humans consume entertainment to various greater and diminishing degrees. And Hollywood is mostly in control of it. Less so because of YouTube, but that's a different discussion. Hollywood controls or influences many of the available slots for distribution. What is the point of making a TV show if it will never be aired, or a movie that will never be seen? This is Hollywood's ultimate power. It controls when you will see the efforts of those who slave to placate them. Let's use network television as an example and discuss the most valuable entertainment real estate, prime time. The networks control the 3 hours of primetime slots between 7 p.m. and 11. Maybe the most coveted time in the world, other than the World Cup. And no, 10 p.m. to 11 is not considered primetime. So, let's do some quick math. 4 major American networks, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, times 3 hours times 5 weekdays equals 60. Total hours available to all the producers and studios in Hollywood. Now, most of those slots are already filled, so that makes the competition even more fierce for the few available slots. The network honchos will decide how many sitcoms, dramas, reality shows they need, and hundreds of pilot scripts will be commissioned. And out of that, many dozens of pilots will be shot for millions of dollars. Out of that, only a few will make it to air, and out of that, still fewer will be renewed. They will be hedging their bets that they got the right aged past their prime Hollywood actors to star in it, the right theme song, the right producer, hopefully Chuck Lorre, the right timing to introduce that show about gay Latin astronauts. The reality show that combines Fear Factor and Dancing with the Stars. You will be dancing the merengue in this cage filled with bees. Network TV and the studios that control them are Time Lords. Yes, they had much more control back before cable and streaming, but not much has changed. They just have to work harder now for a smaller piece of the audience pie. Cable and streamers work more like movie studios when it comes to new product and controlling the release windows. For the sake of this discussion and simplicity, I will just reference studio movies that are shown in theaters. Even with multiplexes, theater space is at a premium because a blockbuster will take up a whole bunch of those screens. Of course, the movie studios themselves don't make an unlimited number of movies, and the studios don't think of their films as the pinnacle of creative endeavors. No, they're more like stocks they hope will provide a huge return on investment. Warner's, Disney, Paramount, Sony, and Universal release about 100 to 125 studio movies per year. X percentage might be allocated to blockbusters, Y percentage to smaller star-driven movies, and Z percentage to Oscar bait and comedies. Independent of the fact that getting the movies greenlit and financed is a war, making a movie is also a war, where you are battling budgets, weather, health, actors with ideas, accidents, jib and crane availability, and the infamous studio or network notes. They greenlight X number of movies per year, not because they want to, but because they have to spread the risk. Right, just like stocks. Now you've got it. They pray most of the blockbusters and sequels will be hits. They hope the rest break even, and at least 1 or 2 of the smaller films are surprise hits to make up for the fact that all the expensive blockbusters were massive duds, like Matrix Resurrections. Hollywood does not count on quality. Creativity is something they put up with. They count on the system. They put their faith into the system. They play the odds and the fact that Hollywood tends to attract the best talent. At the very least, they know the product will look professional. Someone once called Hollywood a sausage factory. but it has to be that way. Movies and TV shows are probably the most high-risk, labor-intensive products sold to the general public. But when you're in the middle of production, seeing the actors bring scripts to life, the director marshaling resources, solving problems because the snow never came, or your star tweeted something about the joys of underage sex, it's the most exciting business in the world, but you really have to have the stomach for it. So is Hollywood ruining entertainment? No, not on purpose. Like the stock market, there are good years and bad years. And for those of you yelling for the heads of SJWs, well, they've been part of Hollywood like forever. Directors Oliver Stone, Sidney Lumet, Norman Jewison, Alan Pakula, Martin Ritt, Robert Altman, Jerry Schatzberg. I mean, I think I could safely call them social justice warriors of their time, and all made profound, thought-provoking, popular movies. The difference is that they understood the craft of filmmaking. It seems our current crop of SJWs are just happy to gender or race swap because that is the limit of their creative abilities. Many from the old guard have complained that the new recruits have not immersed themselves in the history of film. So, why aren't we seeing the greedy, money-grubbing studios, as you call them, revolt due to the recent spate of woke efforts that went broke? I can only assume it's because the risk-reward formula is still working. Or that the media giants are afraid to rile the rainbow Nazis they've put in charge. Just look at how this cohort of SJWs disemboweled the entire comic book industry. And because they are completely incapable of self-reflection, they will burn down Amazon's Lord of the Rings. And they'll blame everyone but themselves. I think the core of the problem you are all complaining about is that while the Time Lords control the coveted portals, there are just so many other services desperately competing for content and talent and your attention. Someone once asked then chairman and CEO of NBC, Grant Tinker, what was wrong with television? He said, there was too much of it. Lots to chew on there. I look forward to your sensible and respectful comments. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you.